What's up, everybody? KG here, founder of the InternetMoney.io crypto wallet, coming at you today with another deep dive technical interview on another innovative project in the crypto space. This particular project exists on two different blockchains, one being the mothership itself, Ethereum, and also another Ethereum based blockchain, Pulse Chain. If you're not familiar with Pulse Chain, I'm sure we'll get into that a little bit in this video, but we will also deep dive into the project Communis. Now, I'm here to assure you that this is not a Soviet plot to take over the world. I promise you that. It is a project that benefits the Hex community and Hex stakers in particular. As always, going into these types of interviews, I try to learn as very little as possible leading up to it because I want to learn fresh on the stream for a couple reasons. A, it makes my questions more authentic, and you as the viewer can also learn that all important thing that everybody in crypto throws around called DYOR, doing your own research. And the best way to do your own research in crypto is to understand the right questions to ask and not being afraid to ask them. And the final disclaimer that I have to make is that this is in no way financial advice. Nothing said on this stream by either party is financial advice. This is not an endorsement of this project in any way. I'm only going to say that one time, and I'm not going to be a broken record. I'm going to play a quick 12-second intro. And when we come back, I'm going to introduce my friend Kodiak, who is the founder of the Communis ecosystem. See you in just a moment.
Got my own keys and my own coin. Gotta protect this money. Took too long for me to get it. Can't let them take this from me.
Kodiak, what's up?
What's up? Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. How are you today?
Doing well, doing well. All day. Internet's coming in and out, but I think we're good right now.
Man, the internet always goes out when you have a stream. I truly mean that. And it's not just an excuse. It knows that it needs to be used and relied upon.
I know. I'm like right before. Why? Can't imagine doing this with my cell phone, but yeah, no, all good. Ready to talk about Communis and your projects, and explain as best as I can.
Sure, absolutely. We're going to dive into some questions here. And if you're out there watching and you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat here. A quick hello to the chat. We got the Ebonics Lover, Alsamac, and Delta Troska. Good to see you all. We're streaming on Twitter and YouTube, so we have people watching on both platforms. If people comment on Twitter, unfortunately, it doesn't show up in here. So if you want to ask your question and get to it live on stream, you need to go into the YouTube stream. So we're going to get a little bit into internet money and Communis, and maybe there's some synergy there. Kodiak and I were talking in the green room, but that's not where we're going to start. We're going to start on just give me the high level, and it can be technical, it can be deep, but just, hey, I assume that I know Hex. I know all the intricacies of Hex. So let's act like we're talking to that person that already knows that. Explain to me what Communis is and why I, as a Hex staker, should care about it.
Yeah. So Communis is an incentive token to incentivize better staking behaviors in Hex. And it does that by tokenizing shares and in its distribution model. So only those with good staking behaviors actually get Communis. And the simple ways that it does that is there's a start bonus for starting a stake. There's an end bonus for fulfilling your commitment to your stake. Those are the main two ones. but yeah, and it's done proportionally. So up to 25% of your com will come in your start bonus, and then the rest, the 75%, would come at the end bonus. That's the very quick run of it. So if you have an active hex stake right now, you qualify for the start bonus right now. And when your stake comes to maturity, you can claim your end bonus right before you end your stake in hex. So, and that's
So
the very, very basic outline.
no, that's great. That I think that's a great launch pad to ask a few questions because I already have a few.
Yeah,
So
good.
all right, so the first term that kind of triggered me, but not the bad trigger, like just triggered a question, was you said it tokenizes the shares. I'm not sure exactly what word you use, but explain that a little more. What you meant by that?
So when you make a hex stake, there is a number associated with that stake, and that's called shares, right? And that number of shares represents your daily portion of the inflation of the hex system.
Hmm.
Not to get too technical, but that number you can normalize or make it fungible and then distribute it as a token, right? As an ERC20 token. That's that's where it derives from. Does that answer that question? Or
I think so. So, we have T shares as they're colloquially known, but most
right,
people are actually getting B shares, right? Because T shares for a lot of people are kind of expensive for smaller stakers. No
gotcha.
shame in that. Hey, stake what you can. Talk, ask, think later. No, just kidding, just kidding. That's not financial advice. So okay, so we have T shares, B shares. Okay, so now you're saying that there is a numeric representation of that share, and that
Mm,
numeric representation can be manifested in the form of an ERC20.
yeah, you basically you flatten it out by dividing by how many days that their stake was. But yeah, so T shares is just trillions of shares.
Mhm.
So it's really the base is a share. How many shares do you have?
Oh, oh, I see.
Yeah. So
So
billion.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
So it's not even one T share; it's literally one share. I got you. Okay, wow.
So a trillion share. Yeah. So and that's how the contract handles it. It's a very precise calculation. So the number has to be bigger when it does these calculations for how much interest in hex you're owed. Um, yeah.
So
So every stake has that representation or that share number associated with it.
all right, so let's use a basic calculation if this is possible. Let's say
Yeah. May-
if it's not, it's not, but like at least just a thought experiment to really form the concept.
mm,
So let's say I did a hex stake today and I
mhm.
staked the perfect amount of hex to get one T share. That's what I got. So does that mean I'm gonna get a trillion com plus the 25% bonus? Or how does it actually break down to the token?
It's I've had this question a few times,
Mhm.
obviously, and I end up saying, "Well, it's not a formula," and I hand them an Excel spreadsheet of how there's 5 different inputs you have to put in, and then there's a bunch of calculations that are made.
Yeah.
Um, but if you really want to not, if you just want the surface kind of how it works, it will see that you did a T share, excuse me, and then it will give you a certain amount of that T-share based on how long you've staked for.
Mm,
So if it's a max length stake, you'll get that T-share. I mean, this isn't like specifically how it works in
of
code, but
course.
just for example, yeah. So if it's max length stake, you would get that T-share. And actually, this is the cool part: is you should get more actually, because the formula uncaps the longer pays better bonus. So it stops traditionally at 10 years, 300% or
Mm,
whatever.
mhm.
Well, that's uncapped to go up to 15, which is just part of, I call it normalizing, but making it fungible. The T share fungible. So you might, if you're a max length staker, you would actually get more than a T share represented in com, obviously. Does that make sense?
That's interesting. That makes perfect sense. That's
Because
so,
I mean, it doesn't make sense to say, well, let's treat 10 years the same as 15 years, because in hex it's okay because there's a daily payout, right? In coming from the inflation of the system. In com, that doesn't work. You're just trying to make it fungible. So that's the purpose of that. Like you wouldn't, why would you treat 10 years the same as 15 if there's no daily payout and in anything? So does that make sense?
yeah, no, that makes perfect sense because in hex terms, yes, you max out your bonus at 10 years, but you still locked in your share rate for that additional 5 years. So
Right,
that's why there's the incentive to stake for 10 or for 15, that five
right.
additional years, because the T share rate is, or the share rate is always ratcheting up.
Right.
So you want to lot. It's like kind of like having a lease, right? If you're renting a home, if you
Hmm.
lock in your rent, well, the landlord can't spike the rent up on you the next
Right. That's a
couple
good way to put
years.
it.
And
Yep.
so, but why it makes sense again, if I understand it correctly, why it seems to make sense in communist to go all the way, communist, sorry, all the way, is because, like you said, you're not getting that daily yield from hex, so you kind of have to,
Yeah. If
I guess,
you
simulate it in a way.
well, it reverse engineer. It's kind of fun how it actually works. It reverse engineers what your share rate was when you started your stake, and then it recalculates it with a new formula with for the longer pays better bonus. That's how it technically works.
Mm,
Yeah. So yeah, and I forgot what I was gonna say, but yeah.
no worries. So let's reel it back in a little bit. So you said that if I so all existing and all new hex stakes,
Hmm.
period,
Hmm.
right now can go and get their free coins, their free com.
Yes, and I would do your own research and find out how free it actually is. I put free in air quotes because
Mhm.
really, if you do the math, you'll find out that it's actually a lot harder, especially if you're like a day one staker. The share rate itself has gone up so much, and the cost of hex obviously has gone up so much. It's it would be very hard to repeat what you've actually already done. So just go find out those numbers and do your own research and see how actually free it is in this system. That there's more of a weight in cost for time than it is in the actual principle, I guess, in hex, right? Because of this normalization where you don't get your full t-shirt just at any staked amount of days. So if
So,
that makes
so,
sense.
so are you applying that principle to people who would go out and start a new stake right now to try and get their free com, not the people who are already staked and are like, "Hey, I'm already staked. I'm just finding out about this."
So it's the same as in hex where you always know that it's better to stake now because that share rate is always going up,
Right.
or it can only go up technically. If nobody uses it, it doesn't move, but it only goes up.
Right, right, right.
Yeah, so you have that whole what's the word, pumpamental, or uh, yeah, pumpamental of staking hex.
So, okay, if you can please, uh, are you saying that it's not might not be really free in quotes because maybe the gas to mint it isn't worth what you'd actually receive, or what's the variable that somebody would determine, hey, this is worth it for me or not? Like, how would they figure that out?
Sure. If it's only as free as much as you don't care. If you don't care, then of course. If you never care again, it was free. You never had anything to do with it ever again. But if you if you think you might care in the future, you'll see, and you try to get the same thing the same opportunity you had, say now, you'll see that it was, unrepeatable or much harder. You would have had to make a new stake, for bigger and longer with more principal, right? So does that make sense? So it's as free as you want it to be. You can never care again and leave, right? You just give it to the market, you sell, because that's kind of what you're saying. You just, you know, you can only be a day one staker on day one, right?
Right.
If that makes sense. So if you were a day one staker, you're unique. In fact, in this system, you're very unique.
Right. No, you're absolutely, yes.
So you should be very careful to do your own research and find out exactly how free it actually is. I mean, if it were to meet the actual definition of free, there would be unlimited, right? It wouldn't. You'd have projects that just overinflate, right, with no rhyme or reason. So measure out, is it free? How much can I get on market? How much am I getting for air quote from the claim? Free in the claim.
I see.
Be very careful, because I've had people come to me and they're like, oh shit, I didn't realize. And the contract defends itself too. I wrote it to defend itself with the end bonus debt system that's baked into it. Have you heard it all about this?
I have not, but let's pin there for one moment, because I'm on the cusp of grasping this concept.
Cut me off whenever you want, by the way, because we can go right off the trail.
No. This is great. This is great. I want to. It helps me build the knowledge and the story when I can get one point. Okay, so if somebody, I think the distinction I'm hearing is there's two types of people that would want to get their free COM. And that would be somebody who is already staked. And like right now on this video, they just found out that, oh my goodness, I already have these coins over here waiting for me for something that I was already doing anyways. Like they didn't do any extra. They didn't go out of their way. They just, oh, hey, there's the airdrop, so to speak. Now, I think you're comparing that type of person to the person who is sitting here saying, oh, I'm going to go stake Hex for the purpose of getting COM for free. Is that a fair distinction that you're making?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe. It kind of sounded similar. I mean, but so, it's the whole point is that, and it's the same premise in staking Hex. It's always better now. So if you don't care and you're a day one staker, which is, you got the best share rate at the most, whatever, best rate, then you might, want to be careful with, you should just at least know what you're doing. That's basically the premise. You don't want to later find out, oh, hey, wait, this was worth, to me much more than when I sold it. Right.
Okay. So you're okay. I guess what I'm ultimately trying to pin down is I can't see the negative of staking Hex, claiming coins that are from a technical perspective free. Like I did not, outside of paying for the gas.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I did not buy them. Now, I think maybe what you're saying is that.
Oh, well, yeah, always claim. Always claim.
Yeah, okay. So I guess what you're speaking to is actually selling the COM and extracting the Pulse or ETH value.
Right. Whatever the market is. Yeah. Yep.
Got you. Okay.
And you can do it for sure. There's no. Yeah. So yeah, I see where the disconnect was. Yep, for sure. You should always claim. Why not? Yes, by that measure, free coins.
right. That's what. Okay, I got it. Okay, we're
sorry.
Cool. All right, we're there. We're good. This is why. This is, as some might call it, verbal telekinesis or no telepathy. Verbal telepathy.
Okay. Yeah.
So we're good there. Rounding back to, you wrote the defense in the smart contract? Tell me about that.
So 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 the end bonus, most of your coins come out of that bonus for fulfilling your commitment, your hex stake commitment. Now 50% of claimable end bonus gets accumulated into a number called end bonus debt. And this debt, if you do not stake com equal to or greater than that amount of debt, then the contract will stop you from minting further end bonuses, which is where most of the com comes out of. And you
Mm.
can't earn yield on staked com. So I should probably explain staking com. You can stake your com when you go to claim. You can choose to stake your com any amount, 100%, 50%, or to any specific number. So the thing with staking com is it's a one-way circuit where you can only stake com during the claiming. So if you
Oh,
choose, right. So if you choose to only stake 50%, that other 50% gets minted to your wallet. You cannot stake it again. It's not possible. So, what most people seem to be doing is they'll stake 100%, and then if they one day need it for whatever reason, then you can withdraw it, the specific amount that you need at the time you need. There's no penalty, so to speak, for withdrawing, besides the fact that it can't go back. It's a one-way street. Any questions there?
I okay. But I don't think so, but let me just reiterate to make sure that I do understand.
Yeah.
So, okay, I have my hex staked. I go to mint my com, and so
Yeah.
claim, apologies, go to claim my com.
Mhm.
At the moment of claiming, I'm
Mhm.
going to have the option to say claim it and mint it into my
Mhm.
wallet,
Mhm.
or claim it and stake
Mhm.
X% of it.
Yeah.
And but that X% is only the 25% the start bonus.
Oh, well, it's of the total. So it's 20. Okay, so the 25% number is taken from. So every stake has a measurable max amount of com that can be possibly minted from it. That max, I just call it the max payout per
Mhm.
stake. That's just a number that is what your stake is worth in com, right? That's how the formula works. That is how much it says it's worth. Your start bonus gets 25% of that, and then the end bonus gets just mints the rest, whatever you didn't mint, right? Or yeah, the rest. So in this case, it'd be 75%. So when you go to claim your start bonus, it'll be a number. You have this much to claim. It'll represent 25% of the max payout, but you'll just see a number available, right? Now you can choose to stake any amount of that start bonus claim, right?
Okay.
At any percent of that start bonus claim.
Okay. So let's say I go to claim,
Yeah.
and my entire worth of the claim once it reaches full maturity is 1,000,000 coins, million
Mm-hmm.
com.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying that if I were to claim and mint immediately,
Mm-hmm.
I could only mint 250,000.
So these are separate functions, separate buttons that happen at separate times.
Okay.
So if you're talking about the start bonus, like you just started your stake yesterday and today's your first active day, you can go
Mhm.
claim your start bonus. You'll hit hey or the dashboard, Communis.app. We'll see that you have, and you log into your MetaMask or Internet Money wallet, whatever you choose. It'll show you what you're able to claim, and then another pop-up window lets you choose how much do you want to stake or how much do you want to mint to your wallet, and you get to specify exactly how much. And that process happens again at the end bonus claim, which will happen once your hex stake matures. You
Mm.
go to the website, you bring up your dashboard. It'll say, hey, you have this much available to claim. How much do you want to stake? How much do you want to mint?
Okay. All
With
right.
their own respective amounts claimable, right? Separate from each other. I mean, they're connected in the background through the formula, but as far as the UI goes, you'll see that it's just an amount. It's just an amount, excuse me.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think I got that, but we're gonna keep pushing forward, and I think maybe if I get the full picture, it'll click a little more.
Sure.
So now, explain the debt. You were going into there was some debt for the end bonus.
So once your stake fully matures, and before you end your stake in Hex, because if you end your stake in Hex, it's just removed from the blockchain. No smart contract can read it. So claim your end bonus before you end your stake in Hex. 50% of what is claimable from your end bonus will get accumulated into the end bonus debt. And it doesn't go down, it doesn't go away. It's simply 50% of the claimable end bonus goes into that number, added into it. And if you don't stake COM equal to that debt, equal to or greater than, you won't be able to mint further end bonuses. So so basically the contract defends itself where, okay, I know I'm giving this to you for air quote free. It's not free, but I know you're just getting this, but you get, if you don't care about the system or the coin, then it defends itself and locks you out, right? It just defends itself from freeloaders, I guess you'd say, but I mean, there could be other reasons why they're doing it.
I hear what you're saying. Okay, so
Like you don't want to. Go ahead.
No, I was like, if I understand correctly, and if I don't, that's fine. Tell me I don't. But you're saying that this in stake or
The
well,
bonus.
the in stake bonus? I have to continue to basically roll that over to be greater than my debt. Otherwise, from that address, I can no longer claim COM, mint COM, period.
The end bonus specifically gets locked out, and earning yield on your staked COM stops. So your start bonus, you could always make new stakes, and you could always stake that start bonus and climb out of debt, or just mint the start bonus forever. But most of the coin comes out of the end bonus.
So then if somebody ever wanted to, let's say I was somebody who was staking and I was rolling. And then all of a sudden I said, hey, I want to get out of the COM system. I don't really care about.
Right.
I'm going to just mint all of my COM right here and there. And I get it. I'm taking the penalty. I'm never going to get the end bonus again.
Yeah. If you know that you're just done with staking or you're just done with COM, then yeah, you would. And then the system defends itself by keeping track of how much you care about the system, basically.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that anywhere else. So
no, that's very interesting.
Because how else can the code defend itself? It's like, well, someone's not going to care, simply, right?
Yep.
Like you just know. I mean, as you're designing this, there's going to be an audience that just does not care. Well, that's okay. They don't have to care, but then the contract doesn't have to let you, just mooch off it forever, right? So that's the design intention. It wants you to be a good staker. It wants you to care about staking more and staying in COM, staking your COM. So yeah. What do you think? Interesting, huh?
Yeah. No, I think I can authentically say
if you understand
it. well, that this is the first contract defense mechanism that I've heard of. I mean,
yeah, for this type of coin, yeah,
sure.
There's a lot. Yeah.
Go ahead, please.
Well, yeah, I mean, your XYZ token might just be a simple mint, and whatever VC distribution or whatever, right? So,
Yep.
but yeah, in this distribution model, when you're tokenizing shares, yeah, it I think it's very important to have this mechanic for the
Okay.
longevity.
Okay. So now that I have my com in our thought experiment here, do I is there further game theory there? Can I stake the com itself now that it's minted? Is there anything further to do there?
So once it's minted, you're basically saying it goes into the speculation realm. And there's only two things you're speculating on. You're speculating on it's tokenizing shares. So what does shares represent in hex? And the distribution model. Is it incentivize? Is it actually incentivizing better staking behavior? Does this actually work? Right.
Mm.
But yeah. So if obviously the higher the value of com, the more it incentivizes better staking behavior. Right. I mean, just on its face, if the value of com is higher, then the start bonus is going to be higher in dollar terms, right? So you're incentivized to stake better, right? To start new stakes, and then the end bonus incentivizes you to fulfill your stake. So yeah, and that's how it ties into uh, in what's incentivizing better staking behavior. So
I hear that. That does make sense. And you could also kind of argue for the communist value proposition in that there is almost a disinflation model in that let's say you had the same core people interacting with communists, or it was growing in such a way that wasn't necessarily exponential, that those people who are restaking or creating new stakes in general and then using the communist system, they are always going to be entitled to earn less
mhm,
communists because the share rate is going up. So unless they're staking exponentially larger,
mhm,
the
mhm.
amount of communists they're going to be minting or claiming is going to be less, right?
Right. Well, it's weirder than that. It's actually so
Okay.
when you're let me know if you agree or disagree. I mean, so the
Sure.
theory is if you're incentivizing staking hex, well, you're what are you doing? You're basically buying and burning hex. Maybe they already have hex, but they bought it at some point, supposedly, right? So you're incentivizing buying and burning hex for longer, right? Up to the
Mhm.
max.
Mhm.
So supposedly now the price of hex is up, right? I mean,
Mhm.
if you're reducing supply, supposedly that's increasing the price of hex. Well, if you're increasing the price of hex, that goes back to com because now minting shares is more expensive. So it just goes around. That's the theory. I know that's the theory,
No,
but
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing because it's like I agree, and that's pretty cool. It's cool
it's weird.
philosophy.
It's
Yeah.
very weird. I don't think I've ever. I I mean, that's the design intention is to perpetuate itself and hex. So this is not a lossless. Well, it's up to the open market, obviously, but it's not for just no reason. Like you're not just you know, it's continually tied together synergistically.
I can see that.
That's the intention. Yeah, that's the crazy part.
Yeah, and I like that weirdness because so much of this
Excuse me.
is I hate to use the term 4D chess because it's kind of memeable now, but
Right.
it
Sure.
there are layers to the onion,
Mhm.
where it's like depending on how you look at it, there are multiple different avenues or paths of value proposition, and a lot of them may not just be strictly, or I guess they're all financial at the core, but
Sure. Sure.
what can lead to the financial is that social or philosophical benefit. And the one you just described, I think is no, I think that's great. And I hear exactly what you're saying. And so,
Yeah. No, it's. I
but
mean, and shout out to Johnny Sachs. I think I mentioned this on the stream last time, right? Is made a 2-hour video on basically the start bonus,
Mm.
covering the start bonus, and it's a strategy to use it or to effectively incentivize new stakes, globally. So 2 hours.
It's a
I mean,
dissertation,
this rabbit hole can go as deep as you want it, right? That's kind of how it works.
which the Hex community definitely enjoys their deep dive game theory galaxy brain play rabbit holes. And so,
Yeah. Yep.
you know,
I love
it's
it for sure.
like don't let me put you in a bucket that you don't feel like you're in. Feel free to correct me.
Okay.
But it seems like Communis is just another layer to that onion alongside Hedron Icosa and the Maximus ecosystem. It seems like you guys are kind of the three there that are that open up the different game theory plays to
Yeah, I
play
think
on your
it's
hex.
I feel like it's natural though, because when you're at the place that I'm at, I'm a day one staker myself, and I've been here just staking. And now I'm a air quote retired staker. Well, I'm highly incentivized to add value to hex and
Mm.
staking, highly, right? So I feel like it's natural, and I really hope that there's more developers, honestly. Like I couldn't complain if 10 more developers tried to do their own version of whatever, adding value, right? So I think it's great.
Because, like you said, it is in a way you could make the argument that it is a buy and burn on hex itself.
Right.
So the more of these things that exist, like Communis, like Hedron, like Maximus, that maybe resonate with people in different ways,
Exactly.
you're
Yep.
you're giving more and more incentive to buy the hex,
And
burn the
burn it. Yeah.
hex through
Hmm.
staking to extract all these different layers of value.
Yeah.
So
It's
I
exciting.
hear that.
Yeah. No, you got it. It's exciting. No, for sure. For sure. And the staker always wins. I mean, it's just such a I mean, obvious win. So
Especially now on Pulse Chain that the in the beginning when I made the
excuse me.
introduction, for those that are new to Pulse Chain, it is a fork of Ethereum. And one of the coolest things about it is everything you're used to doing on Ethereum, you can do on Pulse Chain right now,
Hmm.
with the added benefit that the gas is way less expensive. So, I mean, when I say way less expensive, I'm talking a $5 move on Ethereum will cost you less than a penny on Pulse Chain, or even more drastic than that. So, moves and plays like Communis and Hedron that you may have been priced out by minting or claiming or doing all these things, you can now actually play these. I don't want to call them games in a derogatory sense, but the game theory, you can play now. So I feel like now more than ever we need protocols doing things on top of Hex because, well, look, I own Hex myself. I want Hex to do to do well.
Well,
So
yeah. I mean, isn't Hex bonded to Pulse Chain, and isn't everything connected to Pulse Chain? I mean, if Hex wins, Pulse Chain wins, everyone wins. So there's no one coin where you want to lose, but it wouldn't make sense. But Hex is one where you can yeah, you can take advantage of this staking system and actually use it to perpetuate itself, um, which is what Con tries to do. So yeah,
well, and we actually have a question here uh, for you,
yep.
it seems. Hey, KG, can you get Kodiak to explain the coupon rate?
That's the okay. So that's the 2-hour video that Johnny Sachs
Got
did.
okay.
So the basic premise, I could say the premise,
Sure.
the details. It's an advanced strategy to providing liquidity, is what it boils down to, where you're supporting Hex and Com at a worst case scenario. Everyone mints their Com and dumps it. So the coupon rate, you can say cashback or rebate, right? So, and this is for max stake lengths, 5555. the value of Com right now, I think we're at 5%. If you made a max length stake, you will get 5% back in Com
Mm.
if you do that, and that's happening now. So so if you want to think of it as, it's an easy way to measure its influence its influence on hex staking, right? It right now 5%, you can get 5% back in Com, of course, in the start bonus if you make a max stake length stake. But yeah, does that make sense? Am I saying that well?
I think it does. And what I would like for you to do is after this stream is if you could send me the link to that video for those watching
Sure.
that do want to deep dive into this theory here. I will post that link in the description and you could watch that as a follow-up here. Because if it's broken down in extreme detail and you're somebody that is already interested and engaged about Communis and want to learn more, we're not going to get to every single detail on this stream. There's 0% chance that that's occurring because clearly this isn't like, hey, doggy coin to the moon, win
Right.
$100. You know what I mean? So
Right. No, yeah. No,
w-
go ahead.
I'll say layers to the onion. That's all I was going to say. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll give that link. Yeah, definitely drink your coffee before it's 2 hours, and it's not an entertaining documentary or something. It is spreadsheets, and so just prepare yourself. But he does it thoroughly, and he's very smart. You'll see that if you're interested. Yeah, I'll give you the link.
No, appreciate that. And something that I've realized too in crypto is a lot of this learning is not going to happen the first time you hear something. So you might watch a 2-hour deep dive video and you might only walk away with 5 minutes of knowledge, but you've still leveled up. You still got those experience points. And
Yeah.
so even just listening in the background.
Oh, for sure. Don't give up. I mean, if you're serious about crypto, you should have a lot of willpower to push through some of these more complex things because they're very powerful. Staking itself in hex, very powerful concept. So, yeah.
So I'm gonna go ahead and pull something up here because we're talking about different things that can be done for Hex, right?
Mhm.
And one thing that we have done is, let me see.
Yep.
Can you see this? Okay, perfect.
I can.
So I'm just gonna give a high level overview to add context, and then I'm gonna talk about this here. So this is a communist stream, but we're talking about buying and burning hex and all these hex derivative plays. And okay, so in the Internet Money Wallet, there is an in-app swap feature. This in-app swap feature is a DEX aggregator that aggregates most of the liquidity sources on Pulse Chain. We have deep dive videos on that. If you're interested, I'll share some resources down below.
And
Awesome.
I just I'll just add in a lot of our liquidity is on phux.io, I believe.
Mhm.
So if you're just looking at PulseX, you're getting pretty nuked. I mean, compared to something that aggregates. So, that's awesome that it does that. Very important for my coin currently. Right. Sorry, I had to say that.
No, I'm actually really glad you said that. So, let's say somebody, and we also have Communis preloaded with a logo and price tracking alongside all Pulse Chain assets in the wallet. So, so let's say you were to swap from Pulse to Com, right?
Mhm.
We aggregate PulseX V1 and V2, PHUX or FUX, Pateus, 9mm V2, 9mm V3, 9-inch. Also, the forked over Uni V2, Uni V3, Pancake Swap, Sushi
Wow.
Swap, and Shiba Swap.
Wow.
So
Yep.
if you have liquidity anywhere basically on Pulse Chain, you're going to see that. We do aggregate some liquidity on Ethereum as well, like about 5 sources, not as many as Pulse Chain yet. But basically, it's going to show you all the rates and you get to select the best rate. So it ensures you're getting the most tokens for your swap. Now,
Very important. Yeah.
very important. Absolutely. And so with that, there is a fee. It's less than other in-app swap fees. all the other major competitors that we can find, and that fee is charged in the form of the native coin. So in the Pulse chain case, it's charged in the form of PLS.
Mm.
Now, we have a token called Time, and 100% of the fee that is earned, the revenue, it is distributed to time holders. So if you're holding time, you're earning passive income in PLS as revenue within the wallet is increasing. Now, we have created this buy and burn DApp, and we're buying and burning mini tokens. We actually just added Ink and PulseX 2 days ago, but for the purpose of this, we'll stick to Hex. So now this contract holds time token, which means as the wallet revenue is increasing, this contract is earning Pulse, and it's using that Pulse to buy Hex off the open market, regardless of price, and burns it by sending it to the burn address. Now, because you and I know that you
Mm.
can't burn Hex unless you stake it, right? So this is
Well,
bullish for stakers because this Hex gets bought. It gets effectively burned by never being able to re-enter the market again, but it is still technically in existence, which means stakers are still getting the yield based on this Hex being in existence and not deleted. So
yeah, obviously better than MetaMask. I mean, geez, right?
obvious. You can't even
It's
swap
like
Hex in MetaMask. They censored it. Just saying.
so bad. Like it's shocking, isn't it? Just how bad the legacy crypto space is. It's just so unbelievable. I think the website MetaMask, and it's what's the company, Blockade? They're like, yeah, we this is highly suspicious only on Ethereum for whatever reason. It's like, well, why? It's just bizarre. And who's deciding this? And who else
Peop-
are they doing this to? And the like, is this DeFi? Like, what is
no,
going on?
no, it
Terrible.
isn't. It's
No, it's
J
terrible.
it's JP Morgan Chase
Is that
and
it?
got oh yeah, they own
Tell me.
Consensus and Consensus owns MetaMask, or they at least they're a huge stakeholder in Consensus and therefore MetaMask. So it's like the legacy players are in the DeFi space. And that's why you're seeing
Oh,
these
yeah,
weird legacy moves, you know?
yeah. I mean, yeah, thank God for Pulse Chain, right? Thank God Richard Hart is putting up and doing what he's doing. So for sure, just letting us all escape, right?
Pulse chain. The other day I often talk about Pulse chain being America, but early America, not
Yeah, I love
not
that.
JP Morgan Chase censoring Hex on MetaMask America. Not that, not those
Central
guys.
bank. Yeah,
Seven, yeah, the 1776 throwing tea off the boat.
it is. No, I think the same way. No, it is. It really is. I mean, I mean, thank God Richard's pushing back the SEC. It's like, you know, I don't want to get too pissed, but they're ridiculous. It's just unbelievable, just how made up everything is. It's like, like what the heck is going on?
No, I understand why you're pissed because like one thing we hear about a lot too is like people will say, "Oh, I hope Richard gets in trouble, and I hope Pulse Chain and Hex are securities," and they're doing that to vindicate their own ego. But what they're being blinded by is the fact that Richard, Pulse Chain, Hex, what this entire community is fighting. Yes, it's for us, but also if the government wins against Richard, they win against crypto. It's
Oh yeah,
ultimately ammo against the entire industry. Like I don't get why people are cutting their nose off despite their face. I don't see why they're missing that point.
I know. And you'll never get a Richard Hart again. He's a complete outlier. It'll never happen. You'll be dead, right? So
He's quite the unique character. Absolutely.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, here we all are. We're talking about we're talking about 2-hour deep dive videos on the communist Communis start bonus, you know, coupon theory. I don't. It's like
Right.
that
Yep.
is all a derivative of Richard's original vision.
Yep. 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 DeFi and competition. I like competition. So for sure.
Iron sharpens iron, and you know, on that note too, the one final point that I guess I would say about the buy and burn, I'd like to talk to you offline sometime too about that system. We can make calm a part of it as well. And so why and oh, in that the buy and burn isn't if people are only buying and burning hex or only buying or swapping in and out of hex or calm. Any token, anything that's swapped, hex is getting bought
Ah,
and burned. Anything that is swapped, calm could be bought and burned. So you don't have to give me an answer now, but if that's something that interests you, let's stay in contact about that because again, deflationary buy and burn pressure is, I mean, hard to argue that it's bad for a system.
sure. Yeah. It is its own contract, I will say. So it shouldn't be up to me. I'm sure everyone in com would love that. I would. And of course, we'll keep in contact. Of course. I'm not going anywhere.
I know you're not. Oh, and that actually opened up a question, and
Hmm.
I'm sure I already know the answer, but just so it's codified on the stream, Com the Communis smart contract immutable, no
Hmm.
admin keys, right?
Absolutely not. Not even an OA. Like I'm like, no, what why would I add another OA and pretend like I'm not the OA? Like no admin
Okay.
keys, no OA. It's directly to the stakers is how the supply is minted. And there's no obfuscation of the rules, right? The rules that are in place on day one, they're going to be the rules on day 3,000, day 4,000. I designed it to be basically as if I had made this on day one is how I tried to make it work. So yep, no, yeah,
I'm I'm glad that was said because a lot of people that watch the internet money stream here, we are a multi-chain product that has an emphasis on pulse chain first, right? We're native to pulse chain, but just like MetaMask, we connect and operate with all EVM chains. So
hmm
I like to ask those types of questions too, because in a lot of Binance communities, which our contracts are on Binance, nothing against Binance, just one example of they're not doing the same type of DeFi. And
no,
so those no, immutable, no admin keys, like I feel like in this pulse chain community, we really take that for granted. How how we just like expect projects and developers to make immutable code. And I
right,
want that to
right,
start seeping out into the crypto ethos that this is important. At least ask the question.
yeah, yeah. And your wallet's also open source, right?
Open
So
source, yes, sir. Android, iOS, and Chrome, all the smart contracts,
I love that.
they're on chain, verified, everything.
Yep, I love that. I don't want to get scammed.
I don't want to scam anybody. I'm not going to scam
For
anybody.
other
I
projects.
know you and I
Yeah,
know like immutable code on chain verified shows you the rules to the game.
yeah.
It's like, well, if you don't know how to read it, hire somebody that knows how to read it. And the cool thing about the Hex and Pulse Chain community is that we know that there's enough people scrutinizing projects and code that if there was something nefarious going on, we like have a
Oh yeah.
decentralized audit firm.
Well, we're very tight knit. This is an amazing community. I can't imagine. I don't even know what it's like to be in another community. It's like, like compared to the noise we make, or how tight knit we all are. It's like you can't beat it. It's the right place to be.
The only I've been in some other crypto communities. The one that I like to compare Pulse Chain to the most as being the opposite of. And hey, I'm not hating on Dogecoin. Okay. I I hold some Doge, full disclosure. I think, Elon's the world's biggest influencer. Doge is his favorite coin. Hey, maybe there's a play there, completely speculative. It's my lottery ticket. But
Sure. Yeah.
I was spending some time in the Doge community because I really wanted to learn about the community. They're huge. Like on Reddit, I think they're number 2 in terms of crypto Reddits, right? So they're a huge community. So like I was just trying to learn the nuance of the community. There is no discussion. There's nothing.
There's no
Like
pushing the envelope, right?
no, not at all. There is
There's
like it's like, hey, if you disagree that it's going to $1,000 a coin, and you're like, hey, but it inflates 10,000 coins a block, and you need exponential buy pressure. It's like exponential, like it's like there's not even discussion, you know?
yeah,
And
you
like
gotta get
Pulse Chain is 100% the opposite of that.
right. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I'm sure their subreddit is just mood and math and the picture of the dog over and over and over again. It's like, well, what else are you gonna talk about? There's no pushing anything.
Oh, actually, if you have another minute, we have a legitimate question that isn't about doggy coins.
Yeah, sure, of course.
So Danny says, "Hey Danny, good to see you by the way, brother." Says, "Does COM work on encapsulated stakes as well?"
I- if you can sign as the owner of the stake, then yes. As far as I know,
Mm,
Staker app was the only one who used Gnosis safe technology that let you actually do that. But that's the determiner. So I believe HSIs are off the table. Yeah,
got it. Okay, that is good to know. So there could be some portfolio diversity there, right? If you want to do the HSI stakes through Hedron, and if you want to do native stakes so you can extract the benefits from Communis, then that's going to be you as the staker investor that has to make that call. And
sure.
yeah, there's a lot. The video we're doing here is one of many about all of these protocols. So my 3 rules in crypto, and rule number 2 applies here: never FOMO, right? Never FOMO in, never FOMO out. Do your
Mhm.
research. If it's a real legitimate project, it's going to be there when your research is over.
Yeah, yeah, I love that for sure. Always, even if you're just aping into anything, just dollar cost average into it too. I mean,
Sure.
how hard is it to be chill? I don't know.
R- I agree. The DCA in is just as powerful as DCA out. You know, it's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it's again, if it's a real thing, then it's gonna be there for you to do those things. So take a breath, slow down, don't FOMO. And I on that note, Kodiak, I think we've covered a lot of ground. I have definitely, most certainly, learned a lot more about Communis from this stream.
good.
And now when I'm out there, I'm going to have better questions to ask because now it's the nuance that I have to really get
Yeah.
into. So, yeah, no, I really appreciate that. Is there anything that you want to say, anything we missed that you think is important? Any final thoughts?
Well, the website's communis.app. And no, thank you for having me on. I appreciate this. I'm mostly behind a keyboard typing, right? So it's nice to come out and talk like this. So thank you.
Sure. And thank you for doing this, coming off the keyboard and having the discussion and sharing your galaxy brainness and your unique engineering skills with the world. You know, we there's a lot of places you could allocate that brain power. I appreciate you doing it around the things we care about.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah.
Oh, and we have one more question for you. Are you on X?
I'm not. No, no social media for me. I am on Telegram. There's a Telegram link on the website as well, that you can join in, and I'm always on Telegram.
Yep. And I actually have the website here on screen, communis.app, and it's also down in the description of the video. So you can click that, join their Telegram, and I can verify Kodiak is on Telegram. And if he's not, there's somebody awesome in their Telegram chat to answer questions and deep dive into game theory. So by all means, or please do join their Telegram at the very least to ask questions. And Kodiak, on that note, I'm going to drop you down and I'm going to say some closing thoughts. But again, man, thanks for being here. And I look forward to continue talking and continue learning.
Right on, man. Catch you later. Thank you.
Talk soon. All right, everybody. So to digest all of that a little bit, we covered a lot of ground. We did dive into some game theory, dived into some different thought experiments. So if you join late, please do the rewind, do the replay. If you don't understand every single point that was discussed, that's okay. You saw me live on stream not get it and continue to ask questions until I understood. So with these videos, we don't try to necessarily get every single person to understand every single thing about an ecosystem. We want to dive in, at least establish the foundation, get into some game theory because we all love a good game theory, and then give you the tools to continue to ask the questions you need to ask, whether that's from a technological standpoint to protect yourself, whether that's from an investment standpoint to protect yourself financially, right? Only you can make those decisions. So when you're out there doing your own research, we want to give you those tools. If you have not yet, please also visit internetmoney.io, where we are a MetaMask replacement that is native to Pulse Chain. So if you are somebody who really cares about Pulse Chain, then the Internet Money wallet is the best wallet in existence for you. And if you're someone that doesn't care about Pulse Chain, we are still an amazing wallet that is an alternative to MetaMask. We are open source. We are twice security audited. You can visit our repo at internetmoney.io/open source. You can check out our stats at internetmoney.io/stats. We have over 33,000 downloads across Android, iOS, and Chrome. So for all of your internet money needs, visit internetmoney.io. If you want to learn more about Communis, visit communis.app or just YouTube. What about Communis? Whatever you want to know. There are tons of videos out there, tons of great streamers in our community. I know Crypto Coffee and Johnny Sachs and RH Maximalist are three people off the top of my head that have made really great videos around this project. So I appreciate everybody tuning in. If you have just 2 minutes, I'm going to play a song at the end that is the Internet Money Anthem. It has philosophy. It has the vibes. It has the beats. It is from our friend Bass God. And we're going to end with the 3 rules of crypto. The first 3. 1, not your keys, not your coins. 2, never FOMO. And 3, don't trust, verify. I'm KG, and until next time, peace.
What is cryptocurrency? Cryptocurrency is more than just money. Cryptocurrency is a lifestyle, a philosophy, an ecosystem, the means by which human beings to attain financial freedom, not just in the sense of multiplying their investment, but giving humans the ability to interact with money in any way that they see fit. And if that way doesn't already exist, that's the beauty of crypto, is you can create it. And that's what we've done here. Internet money is the future. Internet money is the future. What is internet money, you ask? Well, it's just that. The future. Internet money the future. Internet money